Welcome to Pam and the Purple Couch podcast, hosted by Pamela Furr, with our co-hosts, Dr. Manny Rodriguez, Missy Owen, and Loki DePristo. Together, we're going to dive deep into topics such as education, neurodiversity, autism, and applied behavioral analysis. Remember to click subscribe today so you don't miss out on any future episodes.
Hi, friends and family, and welcome back to Pam and the Purple Couch podcast. Today, we're going to go into a little bit of meditation. What is meditation? What does it look like for you and your child and your family? And how can you make meditation part of your daily living? Today, we've got Loki and we have Missy back on the Purple Couch. Why? Because we want to bring to your home a clinical aspect, an academic aspect, and a neurodivergent aspect. Now, Loki would like me to make it very clear that he only represents himself, and he is not the voice of all neurodivergent young adults.
That is true.
Am I saying that correct for you?
You're saying it precisely word for word. I don't speak for every single autistic being, because still, like you said, in multiple other places, that autism is indeed a spectrum, and I don't speak for the entire spectrum of people. Yes. All I am is just a young voice here.
Love it.
Just treat me like that here.
Exactly. Especially if you watch the last episode when we were talking about all the generational gaps here. You know, some of these, I don't even know what that Gen Alpha is or anything. That blows me away still. All we know about is what we've seen in the last decade between research and hands-on experience. With over 1,500 families that we have reached and we have touched, we have a little background on what we've seen, what we've experienced, and we just want to bring that to your homes. So today, meditation. I want to first talk about the word mindfulness, because sometimes in our academic setting, in our clinical setting, even in the park, at schools, aftercare, preschool, you may hear the word mindfulness. But is mindfulness truly meditation? Well, this is where I uncross my legs and I get in and I talk to you all really deep. Why? Because mindfulness is just another political satire. It's a word that has been used so that we do not upset, so that we don't cross boundaries into religion. So many different religious practices feel that meditation may be an entry to questionable standing. You know, oh, well, if you meditate, then you're going to start to do yoga. And if you start to do yoga, then you won't be a Christian. You're going to be a Hindu. He lives up on top of the mountain. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, our house then, at least for Loki and I, is hippie central. Meditation is a very big part of our lives, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So, and meditation looks different. I know, Missy, one of the things that we want to talk with Missy about is because within our company, we have almost, and I don't want to say required it, but we've educated all of our staff, all of our clinicians into understanding that we all need time to just be ourselves. Time to turn the outside volume down and go within. And that's what I think meditation is.
It's a silent place that you can just focus on yourself on.
Absolutely.
Not even in the working aspect where you're doing something. It's to focus on your inner being.
Correct.
Which as spiritually, I'm gonna tap into my 6th, 17th sense here. It's very good to work on your inner self as just to figure out solutions when you need a calm place to work on yourself, like I said.
Absolutely. So can you share with the audience how meditation was brought to you, especially as a neurodivergent learner, as a young adult, because we are teaching our preschoolers and our kindergartners how to meditate at Puzzle Box. We're doing it because we've found that by starting as early as 3 and 4-year-olds, teaching breath work, teaching how to take a moment just to sit in silence allows the entire body to reset.
Yeah.
So we've seen dramatic behavioral. I've seen children that are in crisis, full-blown temper tantrum crisis because they have no expressive language. And we have used tapping, and we have used Om, and we've used meditative
Mantras.
sounds and mantras. Yes, we're starting now. Well, I know at the elementary school, because
Yeah.
where you're at, we do affirmations.
Yes, positive affirmations, which work. You don't even. Also, I'm just going to say this right now as well.
Okay.
Also, you don't mind if I do this?
No,
most
go
of the
right
time?
ahead.
Okay, what I wanted to say was that no, you're mimicking me. But what I wanted to say was that positive affirmations, positive statements, how media prescribes it is that you say it to yourself physically or vocally, which I feel like while that is true in conveying the medium of it, I feel like it's ignoring a very crucial part of it, is that you don't because if you say it vocally and you're in a group of people, it may kind of make you look weird.
Okay.
So just saying that in your head, just keeping the note of what you are in your head, that's the point of an affirmation, is to keep it in your head instead of saying, oh yeah, I'm angry, I'm gonna say it to myself so that way we can feel better. No, you don't say that, because your mind, when you're angry, you're already moving 15 to I've driven a car now 15 miles per hour is not that fast. You're driving 60 miles per hour and stuff. And so you don't have the time to say full sentences out loud. So that's when you usually just count to 10 downwards and take deep breaths, or whatever coping skill that you may have, which I don't know if we can get into this area.
That's what this podcast is simply about. That meditation is a coping skill.
Yes.
So I know that we've seen our kindergartners grab hands on the playground when they see another one of their friends that's about to go into crisis, which we all know those triggers. When you see a child that's turning red in the face, when you see a child that has started to back away from people, hand gestures, that's wonderful. The clenched fist, or how about just the eyes? So many of our nonverbal children, you can look at their facial expressions. I know that you can already see with some of our elementary kids, when they're about to blow.
Yeah.
So taking the nonverbal cues and then implementing quiet breath, coping skills like Loki is talking about.
Or even some sort of personalized coping skill. Which
absolutely.
Would work. Generally, I don't think... Because I feel like another thing kids are just not doing, this is on the kids area sort of ordeal, is that they're not admitting to their parents that they need a coping skill dedicated towards them, but they can't figure out what coping skill that's destinated for them, because it's very difficult to put into words what really makes them calm.
So why don't we do this? I'm going to allow Missy to share her experience on what she does for her meditation method.
Okay.
Then we'll talk about what you do, and then I'll tell parents where it all began and how we implemented it in our house, which led for you to be in your form of meditation. And I think that's very key. Just like Loki said, our children are looking for individualized coping skills. So this is just another tool to put in that toolbox that we've been talking about on each one of our episodes. Every child may have a different form of going within and listening to that voice. So many times we run on auto drive and we do not realize it. I like to tell all of my staff when we do our coaching sessions, think about how many times you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. Is that all on auto drive? Or do you actually think, okay, I'm awake. Now I need to go to the bathroom. I need to put my feet on the floor. I need to get out of bed. I need to walk to the bathroom. I need to take down my pants, if you wear them.
That's true.
I need to sit down. I need to do my business. I need to use the toilet paper. I need to take care of business again. Then I need to wash my hands. Then I need to go back to bed. And does this all happen like that? Or does it just go on auto drive where you're half awake, half asleep? You automatically go to the bathroom. You sit down. Loki, I love you to death, but I can tell you for you it's auto drive because that's when you've got to go back in and clean the bathroom up. And I'm sure many wives, moms, mothers. See, we already got it on both sides.
Yeah.
But they're in auto drive. auto drive. And what we realize as human beings,
Mhm.
about 80 to 90% of our day, we run on auto drive.
Oh, yeah.
So what do we do to stop auto drive? We take moments of meditation.
Mhm.
We take moments of going within, silencing the world around us to appreciate the present moment. So, Missy, what does that look like for you in your practice?
Okay, I was gonna bring it over there because it was like, okay, yeah, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
On the same page. So it definitely varies quite a bit. So I'd say I'm still new to the meditation game.
So what does new? Just because we have so many,
True.
I'm telling you, my own mother, she swears I cannot meditate. Because to her, she sees the swamis, the gurus, and this is
Sitting still for around 30 minutes because it's like, yeah, you have to stay confined. And trust me, with someone now, I said I'm not like, listen, I'm pulling out just my autism card right now. I cannot sit still for 30 minutes without thinking of anything. And sorry, this is kind of just taking my turn, but I do want you to continue because I am cutting in line, which I feel like is very dishonorable of me.
It was an intro flow.
Okay, well, still, if you
so
have
she's past it. I have not forgot. She's not getting out of how long this has all happened. So can you then, since you're cutting in on her, why don't you go straight? What introduced you to meditation?
you.
Okay. What form? Because trust me, he did not want to meditate.
Okay.
Just like he said, I can't sit for 30 minutes. He had the same understanding that meditation was the tree hugger, sitting down, crisscross applesauce. Now I've got to sit here for 30 minutes and I
Yeah.
just need to be quiet. How did meditation in our home go for you? Explain that to the audience.
Well, okay. Well, can I still be looking at you?
100%.
Okay. Well, basically, you showed me. Are we allowed to talk about? Okay. Sorry. Just a quick moment.
You
Okay.
can go ahead. Talk
Okay.
about your teacher. And
I didn't know if we were going to be talking about Sadhguru because I know how much you are very findulent with the whole like sort of naming conventions
It's all
and
good.
such.
You can go right ahead.
So yeah, Mom showed me Sadhguru and his teaching class or
Inner engineering.
yeah, the inner engineering class about how meditating works and what you need to do and what are the proper steps. And I agree with all of it. I think that the sessions did bring up good points, and I do agree that how meditating works and how it clears your mind, it does work.
Yeah.
However, I still think that meditating can be anything that puts you at ease, which still is going to be a very hard thing to explain to parents.
Okay. So that's where I'm going to help you here.
Yes.
So for our parents, can you explain to them what does your version of meditation look like at this point, right now? And just to give you a little time frame, Loki went through inner engineering when he turned 18. So last year he went through the inner engineering, which is about a 30-hour class, and it goes through the principles of living in the present moment. So those are the teachings that he is speaking of, and it's talking about how this is simply a computerized machine. This is wonderful technology, and we have to learn how to use the technology. We need to learn where's the operating manual. So none of us come into this world with an operating manual. We
Yeah.
hope our parents
We
give
hope
us
our
that
parents bring us the
operating
manual,
you
but
know?
even then they don't
Yeah.
know, which also just causes this chain of reactions. But it's basically meditation is just Mom calls it reprogramming. I just simply call it by the fact of like learning just. Well, okay, no, I do also call it recoding your body, but
Yeah.
it's I think calling our bodies a machine feels like we're devaluing it somewhat,
Okay.
just a wee bit.
All right.
So I more so just say that we're just trying to learn shortcuts on how to make our lives mentally better.
Okay.
Or like how to like say like for an example, just if we go on autopilot mode, it leads to bad habits that cause us to repeat and repeat and repeat. And what I've done gone through to my meditating class, this is not even a meditating thing. This is just sort of a self-actualization that I got from doing the sessions. Every time that I mess up or like something goes wrong and mom criticizes me about it, about my room, about doing a chore, about dishes, about pets, about like anything whatsoever, I look at myself and say, okay, well, I don't even look at myself in the mirror. I just sort of mentally look at myself, I guess, and go, okay, I messed up. What went wrong and what can I do to reduce that from happening? And then I go step by step by step until I have a concise like strategy that I can do for at least try for like a week and see if anything changed. And from what mom can say, I think it has been working relatively well on how like to approach
I
that sort of
absolutely agree
ordeal.
with you. So can you tell our families and our listeners, what does your version of meditation look like?
Okay, I know.
Because I know you, I want you to let them know, what do you do when you are stressed? What do you do when you tell me you need to go?
I know. I know.
So explain to them what that looks
I
like.
know. You said that. Hey, listen. I'm already just gonna. I'm just gonna cut it off just a quick moment because I already know that you've said it 3 times in a row and you're just trying to squeeze that answer away from me.
Okay.
But I'm just trying to get some backdrops here because the main way how I meditate is not by sitting. I run. I jump. I just use my legs and I just like either put on like music or something that gets me in the zone and I just sort of run, jump, or just like sit there and look at a wall or something. Mental asylum.
I like that. Mental asylum. That's exactly what you've done.
But anyways, I'm not done yet. And you might be thinking, Loki or kid that I already forgot the name of because I just came here on the 2nd season of the Pam's Purple Couch podcast. Isn't that just exercising? And while you may be true on the physicality aspect of that, there's no reason why my legs aren't as good as they are right now. I say that running right now is just a way for me. It's like it's an automatic function similar to how you just sit or similar to how you just look or watch. Running is just sort of a default action for me where I just run and I think about things. Granted, I still look at where I'm going. I do not close my eyes and run because then I will get myself a mild concussion.
Yes. Now you do understand.
Yes.
And I know you do because we've had these discussions. But for our audience, exercise is a form of meditation to many. We wouldn't have, for lack of better words, gym rats. Again, I'm old, Gen Z here. Gym rats. Whatever, there's so many people that are addicted to the exercise. Well, you can think about it. In our own house, Patrick is a runner.
Yeah.
So that is his form of meditation. Even myself, who I meditate every single day, my form of meditation now is in my sauna because it is my isolation and it's where I'm sweating and it's where I'm quieting the mind and I'm processing. And the first things that come to my mind are the things that I know that I need to work on because they're in the forefront. So I'm like, okay, check. I got that. Now I can let it go.
Here's a way I could put it. Exercising for the gains, and then there's exercising for the thrill, and then there's exercising for the enjoyment, and then finally there's exercising for the mindfulness.
Yes, the meditation.
The meditation aspect, because I feel like those 4 things right there are like the main reasons on why you do a hobby or something along the lines like that.
Absolutely. And my goal is to get all of my staff, my children under my watch, my friends and my family that are tuning in, to understand that meditation is the time you set aside for you. Mm-hmm. For you. Whether that's you doing art in a meditative state where you've closed out everything and you're allowing your thoughts to come through. Or like Loki said, what if you're running? What if you're running and allowing the physical to express itself while the mind is being able to talk to you and answer you so that you can tune in. Now, Missy, Loki, we're going back now to
Yep.
Missy, because Missy is a new meditator. So what has that experience been like for you? Because I know that here in our business, because I'm implementing this within our children, the first place it has to be is within our staff.
Yeah.
So can you tell our audience about how this experience has been for you, and especially as a new meditator? Because just like his grandmother, my mom, that swears I cannot meditate. When we started our program,
I don't think I could.
we had a lot of my staff members that had never meditated, that were in that same mental block. I cannot do this. This is not for me. I cannot do this. This is a mind over matter. Can't do it. So how has that changed for you?
So before we did our training back in January, my whole concept of meditation was at the end of your yoga class, you have to lay on the mat for 2 minutes, and it's boring. I'm just sitting there sweaty, could smell everyone else. I'm like, this is insane. My heart rate's up. I don't want to lay down right now. I'm thinking the next thing I have to do, I want to be at my mat, I want to try to beat everyone else at that machine I want to get on.
So for you, Yogi, she's talking about Shavasana.
Yes, that's what it's called. Yes.
And that is the quiet time to go to sleep and let the
Uh-huh.
body inhale everything that you've already put it through.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
processing time.
Yes. I was never a big fan of that time,
Okay.
I will say. So when you brought up that we had to do a 2 to 3 day training and that's all we were going to do, I was, gosh, it's been the longest 3 days of my life.
Yes.
But it wasn't. And then we had all those educational components in it, which helped me understand it. So in the field of ABA as well, we focus on the overt behaviors, the things we can see, that we can measure, that you and I can both observe the same thing, take the same data. Mindfulness, meditation, that's all happening inside. So as far as like grad school, education, ABA, we don't touch it, we avoid it. That's just not something you talk about. So it was trying to bridge that gap and realize, no, this is science. It's real. It does help with the heart rate monitors that people are putting on. You can see the actual data. It's not just you use it hooey-fooey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Phrase.
So what Missy is talking about is Loki as well as Missy, and all of our upper management staff have all been through neuro change solution training. It is the scientific background to how meditation affects the body. So just to give you all a little background, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in episodes to come, or maybe in this episode.
Could be.
So yes, so we're putting not only our executive team, but in September, all of our teachers throughout Puzzle Box Academy will have also gone through the neuro change solution training as well.
It's good. And like I said, just getting that science component got my buy-in more. Whereas before I didn't have that. So
Yes, because it's the science for the metaphysic. It's the science behind the meditation.
Yeah.
10,000 years of the Ayurvedic that have been out here working this. Now it's the science to bring to it, because I'm the same way. Without the data, it doesn't happen. We need the data. So if you can give me the scientific background to explain it, then I will bring this to my families. I will bring this to my kids. Consequently, this is why we're bringing it to you today.
yes.
So
You're asking, yes.
Yeah, I wanted to add something to my previous conversation because I just realized I forgot, because this was literally something I wrote on yesterday that I wanted to talk about. I realized the way I wanted to present mental mindfulness and the way we meditate is just I literally thought of an acronym, literally just called hold on. Yeah, sorry. I had to remember it again.
Okay.
Literally just titled GEM, where it's gains, enjoyment, and then mindfulness. It's literally, those are the three things
I like that
you do for like anything. And then if you want, you could say gems and then selffulness, because it's either you want something from it, or you're finding enjoyment just by doing the act of it, or you're doing it to calm yourself down, or you're doing it just for the sake of other people.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that so
Gems.
much, guys, that just like how Loki named Puzzle Box Academy, I think this is our next curriculum that we'll be putting out.
Need to write that.
So, noted.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back. I love that, Loki, especially with what we're implementing within the school system for our preschoolers. This would be a great name
Yeah.
for the product.
Oh, really?
So, live right here. I'm telling you guys, we just named it. We just named our next program. So here we go.
I just
So now I got to get back to Missy real quick. So Missy, you've seen now the science, you've seen the data, you understand the actual implications that meditation can do on the human body. Even in that 2-day training, we were able to do heart monitoring and be able to see coherence between the heart and the brain, all within just a 48-hour span. So someone who did not think they could meditate, who is very data-driven, analytical, she's a BCBA, guys. What more do you expect? I mean, numbers don't lie. So they need the data. So now you have the data, you have the understanding of some of the scientific background. What are you doing now in your daily practice? Are you implementing any of these at home now, or how is that working for you?
So I say the main thing I try to do, which we've mentioned a couple of times, just be in the present moment a lot more than I have been. Because I'm even driving down the road, I'll think to myself, okay, look, there's signs, there's things you can be present. And I mean, 10 seconds later, oh, I'm doing this at work, I'm doing this, doing this, doing this. So something I've been doing at home is when my husband is kind of occupying our kiddo, because I have a little toddler, so, it takes all the attention. They'll kind of play, and I may take 10 to 15 minutes, just sit in a room by myself. I may mindlessly scroll through social media. I may just sit there and do nothing. I may pet the dogs. I might play music. I could watch something on TV. Just spending that 10 to 15 minutes alone.
Yes.
And just not speaking is so nice. Just to not talk.
It's so funny.
Nice.
Missy brings one of the biggest points to meditation in that little statement, and I know she didn't even hear it when it came out. She takes 10 to 15 minutes to not say anything. So I want you all that are tuning in to this show to think about your non-verbal, your children that have no expressive language. They're still happy. They're still content. Just because they're not the extrovert that you expect them to be at that moment does not mean that they're not already envisioning the best version of themselves. So remember that's that meditation part that we're talking about, is our kids that we see that are neurodivergent are in their world. And just like Loki, they have no problem expressing what they need or how they feel. Actually, they self-actualize like he has better than most of us, because they do not put the pressure of living up to someone else's standards first. They put their own happiness and their own joy first. And that's a little trait that we all need to be working on. In this episode today, we talked about Neuro Change Solutions. That's part of Dr. Joe Dispenza's group. You can go online and Google search that, or you can send me an email at info@PamelaFur.com. So as we speak about that, as we talk about things here in season 2, please, families, know you're not alone. If you have questions, if you have a child that is having what you feel is an improper moment or a struggle, please send us an email, info@PamelaFur.com.